Hello humans, it is time to therapy.
Hello humans, trigger warning. This video is about SA and DV. Trigger warning.
So in this session, we are going to talk about the importance of protecting our little boys. Now, this is really more of an introductory video to a much more lengthy conversation. I do want to at least start, I want us to start having this discussion and just bringing more awareness to this. When I started in therapy, I spent a good amount of time in child abuse, child sex abuse, child trauma, abused and neglected children, children in foster care, and vulnerable children. And it is one of those areas of therapy that will break your heart almost every day. There are some good moments, but it is tough. And too often did I see little boys having to experience sex trauma with no support. Even being called slurs, being called gay, or they're made to feel like it's their fault in some way, or were made to feel like they weren't strong enough, they weren't tough enough, they weren't brave enough. And that's just, it's unfair and it's unkind and it's untrue. And it is really important for me to have this conversation. Being assaulted as a male does not make you gay. It does not make you weak. It does not make you anything except someone who was victimized by someone else who should have never done it. And being victimized does not have to make you a victim, but it can absolutely make you angry. And it can make you hate people, lose faith in people, not trust. It can shatter someone's innocence. Now, I am fully aware that this happens to women and little girls, but I am also fully aware that we do not talk enough about how this happens to males and why we're seeing so much anger and masculine toxicity from our boys and our men, because these are some of them are undiagnosed, unrecognized victims of assault. Now, there are many variations of assault. Obviously, we're talking about sexual assault. And one of the things I do want to take note of that I think is extremely important in this video, like I said, this is a part of a much lengthier conversation. One of the topics that I do want to bring out in this video is domestic violence and sexual assault. In my profession, I've worked with women who've experienced domestic violence, and typically they'll get upset because CPS will come along or DCF will come along and want to take their children because they feel like, oh, but he would never hit the children. It's just me and him. He wouldn't even let me hit the children. But if this person is assaulting you, that means they don't respect you. Why would you think they would respect your children? Even if it is their child too. There's obviously a lack of control, a lack of impulse control. Why would you think that they wouldn't hit your children or they wouldn't assault your children in some way? This had been my experience on different occasions working in domestic violence and children in foster care, foster youth, because that parent, that mom couldn't fathom that their partner would ever do anything to their child, but they were. So I say this to say, if you are experiencing domestic violence and you are being brutalized, you are being sexually assaulted in your relationship, you are being beat, and you have children, what makes you think they wouldn't do it to the children? There's no respect there. There are no boundaries there. Please protect your children. Please protect your little boys just as much as you protect your little girls. And I do want to add to this, right, because it's not just the moms. You are a parent, 2-parent household, 1-parent household, to the dads as well. A person is more likely to be assaulted, again, as I mentioned in a previous video, by someone that they know before they are by a stranger. And I've had so many unfortunate stories. And there have been so many unfortunate stories about children being assaulted by a family friend. So to the dads, I say the same to you. Because a child can also experience an assault by a woman. You know, a woman can also be a predator. If you are dating a woman, if you're dating someone, and you feel like, oh, they, you know, that just wouldn't, that you wouldn't even allow that thought to cross your mind, you need to let that thought cross your mind. And you need to open up the door for your children to tell you any and everything. You never want your child to live with that kind of trauma. The friends, the home, you know, the friends, the buddies, the bros, those could also be the predators. Those could be the groomers, the new girlfriend, the bestie. She could be the groomer. She could be the predator. Have conversations with your children. Have conversations with your little boys. Because again, and I cannot stress this enough, they are so overlooked on this topic. And they shouldn't be. The statistical data that I gave in a different video, that's reported. Can you imagine how much of that is unreported? Again, 1 in 5 boys before the age of 18 will be assaulted sexually. 1 in 5. Go look in a classroom of 20. Maybe out of that 20, 10 to 12 are boys. At least 2 of those boys have been assaulted sexually. Please be mindful of the company that you keep. Ask your children questions and don't make them feel bad. Be mindful of what you say around them, right? Because if you are saying inappropriate things or saying certain slurs around them and they've been assaulted, they may feel that way about themselves because they don't understand that that does not mean that. And so now they won't express these things to you. Again, this is a much longer, lengthier conversation. But I think it's very important to start having these conversations and to be mindful and to be open and receptive. Have a great rest of your day and be good humans. Talk to your children. Make sure you talk to your little boys. Thank you.